I have Mitch here. Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Rich, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm glad I'm here because I have not slept properly in 2 nights, and I needed to come to your fine organization to pick up a CPAP machine. Heck, I'm picking up 2 CPAP machines today.
So we usually don't get people who pick up 2 CPAP machines in one day. What is the reason you are buying 2 CPAP machines?
Well, my daughter lives in the neighborhood here, and what we're doing is I'm getting a CPAP machine to stay in her home, and then I have the other CPAP machine will be my travel machine, and I have my own home machine. So I'm going to be a rich man with three CPAP machines.
You have 3. I think that's a record. I haven't heard anybody having 3 CPAP machines.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So it tells me that you're very dedicated to your therapy, and that's going to lead me into what's the single biggest reason you are on a CPAP machine?
Well, when I first was, before I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, I was having a horrible life. I was falling asleep in the middle of business meetings. I was falling asleep in my office at lunch, but worst of all, I was having multiple car crashes. Wow. Because I was falling asleep at the wheel. And if you speak to your pulmonologist, they'll tell you that's one of the reasons, that's one of the symptoms, not the reasons, it's one of the symptoms of apnea. They asked me, have you had car crashes? And I said, how did you know? So I'd like to stay out of car crashes, be more alert, and feel a lot better every day.
Oh, that's great. So how many years has it been since you started therapy?
Believe it or not, it's 25 years.
25 years. So you were diagnosed when it wasn't typical for doctors to recommend sleep studies. So if you can remember back 25 years ago, what started this whole sleep process? Was it the car crashes? It was just a good doctor?
It was everything. I just was tired all the time, exhausted. But the one thing that got me to get a sleep study was my poor wife, because one of the symptoms is snoring like an angry rhino, as they say on TV, and Mrs. Drimmer did not like that at all.
Gotcha. Have you do you miss any nights, or are you pretty religious with your therapy?
Oh, I not only do I not miss nights, but if it's a Saturday afternoon and I take a nap in the living room, there will be a CPAP machine.
That's great that you bring that up, Mitch, because so many times people say, if I'm going to take a siesta in the afternoon, lay down for a half hour, do I still have to wear the CPAP machine? And anytime you fall asleep, we tell them, wear the CPAP machine because sleep apnea follows. So that's great that you bring that up.
Well, isn't it often said that you could drown in a glass of water?
True, absolutely true. Last question for you. I don't know if you know this or not, but half of all people who start therapy, they give up. They absolutely give up. There's people who are going to this YouTube channel, they're watching your video because they want to succeed on it. What advice would you give them to stick with therapy? Was it easy for you? Did it take a certain amount of time? Just give some great advice out there.
I'd love to. The first piece of advice that I'd like to give is find yourself a mask that suits you. Some people like to have over the whole face and mouth, which I particularly don't like. Some people like to have these 2 that just goes right to the nostrils, which I'm okay with, but the one that I'm happiest with is the one that just covers the plastic, that just covers the nostril, not the whole mouth.
Okay,
so that I don't have something pressing against my nose.
Okay.
The second thing I'd have to say is keep water in your machine, because if you don't keep water in your machine, some of us more senior citizens are taking Plavix or blood thinners. It'll dry up your nasals, you'll have bloody noses, and that will put you in an emergency room. So use the machine. If you don't use it, it won't work. So everybody, use your CPAP machine, live a better quality life, and enjoy yourselves, because I'm 70 years old, I don't look it, and I don't feel it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mitch. We appreciate it.